Good afternoon, everyone. It's Friday. I hope you are having an amazing day. Sonia, Chernochan here. I wanted to say, hey, talk about what we talked about the other day. Yeah, exactly. I said I was going to come on and I was going to talk to you about this really great book I've been using for menopause. So, like I said a couple of days ago, if you're struggling, I don't know about you guys, but I guess I've been perimenopausal for a while. So a few years ago, yeah, I don't know. Where do I start? So let's give you a little bit of backstory. So a couple of years ago, I had no idea that I was going through, I guess, perimenopause. Okay, you guys, my mom's been passed over for a while, so I didn't have that, mom, big sister to kind of get me through that part. So anyways, listen, a couple of years ago, I didn't realize I was perimenopausal. If you're jumping on, make sure to just leave me a comment. Let me know you're here. Let me know, are you going through menopause? Are you perimenopausal? You guys, I'm still having periods, but I'm not having them as often as I used to. My cycles have kind of slowed down. So a couple of years ago, because I've been working with a naturopath with my thyroid, I wasn't even thinking about menopause. Okay, so you guys, I wasn't even thinking about menopause. I was so focused on my thyroid and getting that in order that I completely didn't even realize I was perimenopausal, because a lot of the symptoms with thyroid can be kind of related to menopause. So the hot flashes, you can get that with thyroid. All that kind of stuff. So anyways, I have been kind of working through that with my naturopath. So a couple of years ago, all of a sudden, and I'm going to get kind of personal here, you guys, I was having like major breast pain. Like seriously, breast pain, like my breasts were growing. Like I know some of us want bigger breasts, but they were growing massively, but they were quite painful and uncomfortable. And I had no idea, it wasn't even thinking, so all of a sudden I go for some tests and I find out like my estrogen is like through the roof. And I had no idea that is actually not a very good thing to have. So anyways, as I began that journey, so working with my naturopath and also just trying to kind of evaluate where my symptoms are and kind of what's happening, I picked up this book by Christine Northrup. She's an MD, and it's called The Wisdom of Menopause. I'll show it to you here. And I have to tell you, I'm going to just put my glasses on because I want to let you kind of guys know what's in this book. It has so helped me out a lot. Anyways, I know there's a newer version. I bought this a few years ago, so it's kind of like been my manual. I kind of have it bookmarked, and I haven't even read the whole thing. I'm just going to sections wherever I'm having issues. And I go read and I'm like, oh, okay. But what I wanted to do is just share this with you. I'm going to go through the table of contents. So if you haven't gotten this book, I highly recommend it. She really kind of really opened my eyes about things that I had no idea. So all this time I'm thinking everything that I'm going through is related to my thyroid, and in actual fact it really isn't just my thyroid. I was going through the change. I'm obviously going through the change. I'm still going through the change because I'm still having periods, right? So so some of the so she's got like 14 major chapters, but in this they're kind of all subjected is subjected a word? There's sections, like she goes through like the menopause, put your life under a microscope, which I love. And then it's like talks about, the childbearing years, marriage, all sorts of, things that go on, things that affect us that we don't even realize. Obviously, you guys, stress is a major one for everyone when it comes to health. For me personally, I watched my parents go through a number of years of really heavy duty stress. And I honestly believe that just took its toll, and they both passed at an early age, yeah. So anyways, so I don't have my mom here. So this is my mom. This is my book for going to mom. Anyways, the other things she has in here is, the whole point, like one of the chapter 4 is this can't be menopause, can it? Which is so, for me, I'm thinking the whole time okay, it's just my thyroid or something's off with my thyroid, and it's really not. She talks about hormone replacement. She talks about food and supplements, and we already know as women there's stuff we need, and especially she talks about, you know, should you be doing hormone replacement. You know, for me, you guys, honestly, my estrogen was so high that thankfully my naturopath was starting to use progesterone with me to bring that level down, because it was affecting me, like my just quality of life, right? Because the estrogen was just way doing havoc on my body. I won't even go into the details anyways. And then talking about, you know, sex and menopause, and, you know, when the libido is going up and down. And I gotta say, it's really, really been helpful for me. Talking about sleep, and again, I was thinking that all the sleep issues I was having was to do with thyroid. Really, from what I've been reading in here, it could be some hormonal stuff going on as well. And the other thing that they talk about she talks about is, you know, just about as we're aging and so our cycles are going down, our hormones are changing. She talks about osteoporosis, so, you know, the health of our bones and tissues, which I really liked. I kind of read through that too, and a lot of what she's sharing in here is I found for me was just gave me some ideas. Not everything is like Bible, right? But the way she talks about even food, you guys, like for some people, like she talks about the carbohydrates, the sugar, the pasta, like getting off all that, and the dairy, right? That really can be affecting us hormonally as well, which I thought was awesome. It was great to just have somebody that has gone through it. And then the reason she did this book was, you know, being that she's a doctor, she didn't do the book until she was going through it herself. So a lot of what she's sharing in here are stories about, I guess, her experience and things that, you know, she's sharing what she's done for, you know, nutrition, which is really, I can't even explain to you guys how much nutrition information is in here and how she talks about food and supplements. So, you know, if you're really struggling through the perimenopausal or going to menopause, absolutely, for sure, grab a copy. And I put a link in this Facebook, and that's what I'll do, you guys. I said I wanted to share with you a lot of the books that I've been reading over the last several years that have really helped me, and I thought, you know, why wouldn't I just not share that with you as well, right? The other day we talked about food and spirit. Today we're talking about wisdom and menopause. But I did want to say another thing too is, I know for some of us we are struggling with thyroid. Like for me, I thought it was all thyroid, and then I didn't realize the combination of the two can really, like, you don't know which way you're coming or going, right? So I put in that book by Amy Myers, and she's actually pretty good. I've read a lot of books, like Mark Hyman. He's really good with the thyroid stuff too. So if you guys are looking for that, I could find a link for that and send that in. But I'm going to put Amy Myers' book in there because she's quite good as well for the thyroid connection. Because if you're going through both like me, the more information, as far as I'm concerned, the more I can make a better decision for my health and well-being. I know, you know, for me, the great thing is I'm working with my MD and my naturopathic doctor as well, and we finally come to an understanding. And you guys, you know what? Naturopathic medicine is really still not recognized. Like a lot of doctors, MDs, and specialists are just like, no, we only do, we only do traditional medicine. But I think naturopathic is traditional medicine, or is it not? Or is it ancient medicine? You know, I think together the two can work really well. And fortunately for me, I've been able to, you know, have that conversation with my medical doctor, my MD, so that they can kind of, it's not that they're working together, but they're understanding what each other's doing, because I'm submitting reports to both of them, right? Like what he does with me goes to her, and what she does with me goes to him. And I really believe when it comes to our health and well-being, we have to be our own advocates. Because I got to tell you, right now, currently, Jerry's been having some health issues, and we're going through a lot of specialists, doctors, working with a naturopath. You know, we've been doing a lot of that kind of stuff. And what I'm realizing is not much has changed in the medical system since my parents were ill at all. If anything, it's probably worse. We've been actually quite lucky because Jerry has gotten into quite a few of the specialties very quickly. I'm surprised by that because I don't see that a lot, but they don't recognize naturopathic medicine, that's for sure. So, you know, it's up to us as advocates for ourselves to advocate for our health and well-being. And, you know, obviously, you guys, the system has been broken for a long time, and I don't know how it's going to get fixed. I don't know about you, if you're struggling that with family members as well, that it's just a really tough place to be. You want to be your healthiest you possible, and you want to be in charge of your medical team. It's your body, your physical being, and you're in charge of it. So I guess, you know, going through this with him right now, it's kind of really reignited my passion for health and wellness and how important it is for us as women to advocate for ourselves, because we know, you know, leave me a comment. Let me know what your experience has been. Are you currently going through menopause? Are you struggling with other health issues? Are you having a hard time in our medical system as well? I would love to know that, because then we're kind of building that community. Maybe, you know, somehow that will help change the way things are in the medical system. I don't know what the fix is, you guys, and there's no blame. I don't blame doctors and nurses and, you know, hospitals. I don't know what the answer is. I don't know if it's just all about money, like if, you know, if it's a pharmaceutical, if it's what. I think it's kind of broken everywhere. Anyways, I guess I went on a little bit of a rant, but I really wanted to share that with you. So grab your copy. I put the link there. Check out Andy Myers if you're struggling with thyroid too on top of it, or maybe you're just having thyroid issues. There's lots of research. I will talk about the medical medium. I don't know if you guys have ever read any of his books, but I'm reading one of his on thyroid healing. I'm not fully through it, so I won't, until I'm finished it, I'll save that for another time anyways. But anyways, you guys, it's the weekend. Have an amazing weekend, and I will be back next week, and who knows what we're going to talk about. We'll see. Anyways, leave me a comment. Let me know if you watch the replay back. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye for now.